Tonight on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, I was going to kind of move to something else, but I was reminded of something that I forgot to cover with Donald Trump's speech that he had made with the Black Conservative Fund that he did the other day. Now, on top of what Donald Trump said about the Democrats abandoning Black Americans, Donald Trump really started going in on Biden's anti-Black racism. And yet CNN and MSNBC didn't feature that part of the speech. But we're going to go ahead and look at it and get into some issues with Joe Biden. And I do not know why at all Black America voted for Joe Biden. Don't get it, but let's go ahead and roll that first clip.
Really has proven to be a very nasty and vicious racist. He's been a racist. Whether you like it or don't like it, I happen not to like it. Most of the people in this room happen to not like it. And if somebody does like it, they're not supposed to be here. Biden spent years palling around with notorious segregationists. You know that. He boasted that his home state was a slave state. He was very proud of that. He thought it was great. If you go back and look at his body language and the way he said it, he was very proud of it. He said that he didn't want his children to grow up in a, quote, racial jungle. I don't want my children in a racial jungle. Joe Biden drafted the 1994 crime bill, which caused unfair sentencing disparities that devastated the Black community, Black families. Cory Booker called Biden the architect of mass incarceration. Remember this. It was a time when Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden were talking about predators and super predators. You heard that. This is a hell of a lot more of a speech than you thought you were going to get, isn't it, huh? They thought it would be boring, then we'd give a little quick, boring speech, but it's called Let's Tell It Like It Is, right? And then years later, an act of stolen valor, Crooked Joe had the nerve to falsely portray himself as a hero of the civil rights movement, which was so false. And then he said that if African Americans didn't vote for him, you ain't black. Now that one's been so recent, I didn't even want to. But he did say that. A lot of people were surprised. He did say that. But that one's so recent, I didn't even want to put it in. We had to go back to the real stuff. But he did say that. I was a little surprised to see it. I'm sure you were, too. Unlike racist Joe Biden, I've spent my entire life working hand in hand with Black Americans to create jobs, build buildings, invest in our communities, and expand opportunity and freedom for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Well, MSNBC, gotta ask a question. Y'all always playing everything that Trump says. I even talked about the video that you did put up about Trump, right? Why didn't play this clip on MSNBC? Talking about your man, your man Joe Biden. I mean, like Trump or not, he didn't lie about anything he said at all. You remember, we put that clip here.
You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
I mean, come on, that's what he said. The same Biden also said this.
We're going to put you all back in chains.
That's what Joe Biden has been saying. I mean, like, only people who have anti-Black racism say things like that, right? Now, those of you who sit up here and defend Biden, you don't have to like Trump. Don't like him. But he did not lie on Trump at all. When he mentioned about he's the author of mass incarceration, he quoted Cory Booker as saying this. Now, let's get to Joe Biden. And the reason why I use even on the thumbnail and even at the bottom, the younger Joe Biden, because that's the one that really said everything. Of course, the you ain't black thing, that was constant current. But that guy has a hell of a history. Now, let's play this one clip real quick of Joe Biden because I want to go somewhere.
If you have a piece of crack cocaine no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, $1/4 of $1. We passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation, you get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice. Now,
it was the institution of mandatory minimums, which I oppose.
They have got to keep every prisoner in jail like we do federally 85% of the time for which they're sentenced. Right now, they're only kept in jail in the states on average 41% of the time. I like the idea they keep in jail longer. I'm the guy that wrote the bill requiring federal judges to keep people in jail 100% of the time for which they're sentenced, and the notable exceptions only 85%. So I'm all for tougher enforcement.
Joe Biden was extremely happy to say that he's the guy that authored the bill. He's the guy that want to keep people in prison 85% of the time. He's the guy that's excited that judges cannot have no discretion in sentencing. And that particular law was 100% anti-black because it targeted crack cocaine. Who was using crack cocaine at that time period was black Americans. He didn't do that on just cocaine, period. The powder cocaine, you did not get that time like that. But when it came to crack cocaine, now he mentioned Senator Thurmond. You remember when Donald Trump said that he used to hang around with segregationists? Let's put up a picture real quick of Strom Thurmond, the guy that he worked on the bill with. As you can see on the screen, the picture to the left is Strom Thurmond in 1969. And you see the guy that's sitting up there with him is a Klansman, because Strom Thurmond was a rabid white supremacist. Then you see your president, that's a lot of you black folks love so much, on the screen with the same Strom Thurmond. I want you to look at that. And you black folks that's sitting up here defending Biden in 2024, and yet this is the guy that he was sitting there hanging out with. That's the guy that he helped craft the 1994 crime bill to target black Americans and to create mass incarceration for black Americans. That's why it targeted us. Well, he was sitting up there hanging out with a freaking Klansman. But you wicked people in our community. You love the ones that got a D in front of their name. You don't care if they were hanging out with Klansmen or whatever. This is what you ran out there and voted for. And this is what you sit up here and telling me that we need to go vote for in 2024. That guy. And once again, I keep saying this. You had 16 other Democrats in the 2020 election that y'all could have went with that didn't have none of that history that this guy has. And you mean to tell me out of all those other 16 Democrats that you could have voted for, that's the guy that hang out with Klansmen? That's the guy that made the 1994 crime bill with a Klansman? That's the guy, right? That's who you want as your president. And you wonder why we don't get nowhere as a black community. When I told y'all that a lot of you participate in the oppression of our community, that's what I'm talking about. And it's not that Joe Biden's history was hidden and nobody knew about it. It was talked about in the last election, and y'all did not care anyway. Y'all did not care. Once again, y'all had a choice to pick 16 other Democrats, 16 others who did not have that history at all. And this is the guy that y'all wanted to go put in the White House. I don't see how any black person that talks about racism, that talk about discrimination, want to go vote for that guy. That one. Last time I checked and I looked, Donald Trump did not create no laws to mass incarcerate black Americans. He didn't do that. You may not like what he say, you may not like his personality, whatever the case may be, but he did not create no laws to mass incarcerate our people. So I don't understand, once again, I don't understand the venom for Trump and you don't have that venom for Biden. I don't get that. I don't get it. But see, the problem is a lot of you follow what the mainstream media tell you, because the mainstream media told you to love Biden. They told you that. And they told you to have a hatred for Donald Trump. Some of y'all have a hatred for Donald Trump. It don't even make sense. You would think Donald Trump that came in your house and harmed your children, then burn your house down and all that. Like, why you hate Donald Trump so much? Like, I ain't got that kind of hate for nobody personally. Oh, you hear that man's name and you act a fool about Donald Trump. I'm not saying to love the man at all, but doggone it, you shouldn't be that invested toward no political candidate where you have that much hatred towards somebody. It's kind of dumb. Take that energy and put that into the black community, into changing and fixing the black community. Now, since Trump is saying all this, this is the time to go approach Trump about issues in the black community and what we need. Since he's talking like this, okay, hey, Trump, come to the black community. Let's have a meeting, and hey, we want to find out what you're going to give the black community for the vote. Since you're reaching out for it, Come on, let's have that conversation. Because yes, we understand Joe Biden's anti-black racist history. We get it. We know that Joe Biden don't like black folks like that. We get it. We've been, well, at least I understand it. Not some of you. Some of you understand, but obviously the majority, especially them 65 and older, they don't care. But you in Chicago, I'm going to definitely target you. You need to be calling the Trump campaign to go have a meeting with y'all in Chicago. Y'all in New York, y'all need to be hollering at him. Y'all have plenty of time to go holler at Trump right now. Because Biden's not going to go out and talk to people in Chicago about no migrants. He's not going to do it. That's what he wants. He wants the migrants taking all the resources away from black America. Y'all have to take responsibility once again in your voting. You say we don't get nothing from the Democrats because you vote for people who don't like us like that. And even Kamala Harris in a debate called out Joe Biden for his anti-black racism. But what I don't respect about Kamala, if she would have said, nah, I can't do no vice president with you because you're an anti-black racist, she called him out. So obviously, if she felt it was okay to call him out during the debate about his anti-black racism, then obviously everybody knows that he's that way. And when you're older, you don't change all of a sudden. You don't. He just plays the game because they know they need black America to get in office. You are more faithful to voting than any other group in this country. It don't matter about the 36 million potential Latino voters. They don't come out and vote like that. It don't matter about the potential 15 million Asian voters that could be in the 2024 election to vote. Don't matter because they don't come out and vote like that. But who come out and vote in large numbers? The black community. This is why they are sitting up here worrying about us, worrying about the couch and talking about black men, because black men been walked away from the Democrat Party, and more black men are walking away from the Democrat Party and moving with their feet, and also moving with their voice, moving with their money, etc. Ain't no way as a black man that we should be going out voting for no Joe Biden, especially with his history hanging out with freaking Klansmen and putting black people who are still in prison now, like that brother Duke Tanner that Trump let out. He had asked Obama to let him out way before Trump got in office, and Obama left him in there to rot. Trump is the one that got him out. Now, why is it the so-called first black president didn't get that brother out of jail? Obama didn't care nothing about black people, and it showed. And yeah, you still got some black folks defending Obama. He couldn't do nothing. He couldn't do this. He couldn't do that. Yeah, when Trump got in there, he just started immediately doing things the first day. And you're like, what? He doing all this? Everybody was freaked out about it. That's why I don't want to hear no talk about no Obama. Obama had 8 years to do something. 8. And he didn't get nothing done for black Americans. But what did he end up bringing in? He got DACA done. He got that done. Wasn't for black Americans. Every time a person talked about coming out the closet, he was making a big spectacle of it. When y'all talk about the rise of LGBT, it came through him. We've always had LGBT people in the country, but I'm talking about the way he did it. You remember when he put the pride flag on the White House? No one never seen that kind of showing before. That would come through Barack Obama. He was doing something for everybody else except the black community, the black American community that got out there and registered to vote for the first time and go and vote for him and put him into office. Then Obama brought that same racist, anti-black racist as his vice president for 8 years. Let you know that he didn't care about black Americans. Just that simple. Now we have this 2024 election coming up. And I told y'all, we got some black people in the community. You can show them all this information that I'm showing you. They still going to make an excuse. But that's the same black people that will make an excuse for mass on the plantation too. Well, he beat you because you didn't listen. So it's your fault why he beat you. Not why you even enslaved in the first place. No, it's your fault why you were beaten by massa. That sort of thing. There are plenty of black people mentally are still on that particular plantation. No matter what you show them, you can show them to the letter. Every bill Joe Biden was a part of, you can show how Joe Biden has lied to the black community. He claimed that when he get in the office, he's going to have a police accountability commission. He threw that away the moment he got elected. He claimed about doing something to George Floyd policing bill, didn't do it. And they say this was the excuse. The Republicans blocked us. I don't want to hear that, because if so-called Republicans blocked you, then why didn't you go out in all the cities all over America, including Biden himself, and talk about this bill and talk about what it's going to do and talk about how we need to mobilize to vote those Republicans out so we can get more Democrats in so we could pass this and wouldn't let it go. Y'all didn't want to do that. So don't give me anything. The Congressional Black Caucus didn't even push that. You're talking about the John Lewis voting bill. Y'all didn't push that. Stop saying, oh, well, the Republicans, we couldn't do it, so sorry. No, because y'all let Republicans stop y'all from giving money to Ukraine. Y'all never let Republicans stop y'all from all this money to the migrants. Where's the Republican opposition to that? You find every kind of way around Republican opposition when you want to do something, but only when it's for black Americans, all of a sudden, well, the Republicans, they wouldn't let us do it. They blocked me, so I don't know. Well, come on, vote for us anyway and get more Democrats in there so we can do something for you to stop those Republicans from blocking you or blocking us from doing it for you. That's what I'm talking about right there. And let me tell y'all something. Gen Xers, millennials, and Gen Z, it's going to be on us to fix America. It's on us, because we are the ones that's mostly affected by all the policies of the silent generation of baby boomers. It's going to be us. We going to have to all register to vote. We got all of us got to. If you're a Gen X, millennial, Gen Z, you need to get registered to vote and let them know you registered, right? And we need strategically to move as a generations of people to turn this thing around. Now, Houston. Sheila Jackson Lee they claim she got a 5-point lead on Amanda Edwards here in Houston. They say her biggest lead comes from the 65 and olders. There's more millennials, Gen X, and Gen Z in Houston. Y'all have to stop that sitting. Look, it's cool to sit on the couch. I'm cool with that, but there's a time not to sit on the couch. In certain local elections, we can't change anything, and they both Democrat. I get that, but you got to shake things up, right? And in that race, y'all should be voting for Amanda Edwards. And then once you get Amanda Edwards in, you sit her down and say, hey, sister, if you don't do what's right, you out of here in 2 years. I promise you out. We're not playing that no more. You're not going to talk about the community. You're not going to fight for the community. None of that. But it's time for the younger people to come in and start running the nation now. But it's going to take the younger people, which are more in number than that 65 and older crowd. You would not have a change in this country if Gen X, Millennial, or Gen Z don't get their behinds to register to vote. It's very easy to do so and start participating in your local politics, your state politics, and also the federal. We have to participate in this. Sometimes it could be the couch. Sometimes it could be a protest vote. Sometimes it could be, voting for even a particular, if it's just a Democrat, what Democrat is going to align more with us than the other? We have to make those decisions sometimes, because some people live in straight Democrat districts and it's not going to change. Some people live in the straight Republican districts and it's not going to change. Now, Chicago is very active right now, talking about trying to change it to a Republican, make it go red, or at minimum make it go purple. I think it's more realistic maybe to make it purple than red, but hopefully they can do that more so as a protest vote, because what's happening to Black America in Chicago is completely wrong. Completely wrong what's happening to Black America. Right now, I will say this to the Republican Party: our vote is for sale. You need to present something to the Black community for why we should vote for you. It's not that we going to just come over to your party and say, oh, well, we're going to just, and you do nothing for us. No. Because if you're not going to do nothing either, the couch is always present until you do something. This is the time, because we all been saying the vote for sale, the vote for sale, the vote for sale. Well, this is the time where the vote is for sale. So I definitely want to hear what Trump got to say. I talk to Trump all day. I want to hear it. What are you going to do for Black America, Trump? What's specific for us that you're going to do outside of the migrants? I get that. And we with you on that. Outside of business things, and I'm with you in taxes. Oh, definitely with you on that. What are you going to do specifically to address the issues in Black America? And that's going to take you coming to the Black Americans and having that conversation. And not the Tim Scotts of the world. We're talking about the real Black Americans. I'll sit down and talk with Trump just as I'll sit down and talk with Kamala or even Biden himself, I guess. But I really talk to Kamala personally. But I'm just being honest with you. I really talk to her because at least she's going to, not to be rude, she's going to at least remember the half of the things we talked about. But, you know, it is what it is. But Joe Biden, like I said, how are you going to go out? You talk about racism all day, but you're going to go out and vote for that guy. And he haven't changed. He haven't done a thing for Black Americans. A thing. Always remember that. Then I just saw last year, they had a whole forum about anti-Asian racism and what they're going to do to combat it. But they had no forum for anti-Black racism and what they're going to do to confront it. I'm talking about with Congress. I didn't even know they had that till last night. And the only reason I found out is because I was on X last night and they had African was trending. And you know that anti-Black Asian female, Diane Yap, that one? Well, I said, let me go to her page. And when I went to her page, she actually testified at this anti-Asian racism thing in Congress. I'm like, I didn't even know that happened. So that's why I went to go look at it, and I wanted to hear exactly what she had to say. And she's spewing, vile anti-Black racism. She's spewing that. But that is what these Congress people want to talk about. Not talk about anti-Black racism. So why should we be rewarding the Democrat Party? Why? With our votes. They are so against us. They are the anti-Black racists, period. But our vote's up for sale. It's up for sale. It's going to take Gen X, Millennial, and Gen Z to make the change in America. Because if we don't make a change in America right now, you're not going to have a country.